I'm Jake Skin, host of the Boxed In podcast, and in the second episode of the podcast, I had the pleasure of talking to trainer at the Steel City Gym, Pearce Gudgeon. In the episode, we talk about Pearce's amateur days, his reasons for becoming a trainer, some of the amazing talent he's worked with at the gym, and his future aspirations in the sport. If you do enjoy the podcast, then please feel free to like and subscribe. Your support is massively appreciated. Hope you enjoy. Hi, I'm Jake Skin. Welcome to the Boxed In podcast. Delighted to be joined here by Pearce Gudgeon. Pearce, hi.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How have you been?
I'm good, yeah, good. So, can you tell us really how you got into the sport of boxing?
So, I was a very small kid, like tiny. I used to play football, my passion really at 8, 9 year old, but I was in year 5 I think at the time, maybe year 6. My dad wanted me to get fitter at football and stronger, and then when I was going to secondary school, wanted me to be able to sort of, defend myself, be able to stick up for myself in case of big kids. So yeah, so he knew someone at the time who were running the gym. Just took me down really. So I went from there, for a reason.
Yeah, I'm going to say with sort of in your family, previously into boxing, or were you
No, the first. My dad always loved boxing, but realistically we used to follow him when Sheffield Wednesday's the biggest passion.
Yeah.
So I said football's his first sport, but boxing's his second, and he always loved it and stuff. So, but yeah, no family members in boxing or anything. My granddad, I had 2 granddads. One of them didn't like it, one of them did. Never did it, and then my dad always said he wished he did it, but never did. But yeah, he just loved watching it.
So I'm going to say, what's sort of your first memory of the sport?
Of boxing? Probably first day walking into the gym, to be honest. We obviously have around these lines and circles.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the footwork, just being nervous, thinking, what am I doing? And then we used to do these drills called blows, and I remember a kid called Hassan, he did them with me, showed me how to do them. I can't remember what I was like, I was probably useless. But yeah, he showed me how to do them. And then I can remember the second time, so my dad took me the first time. The second time I went, my mum took me, but the trainer wasn't there, so there was people just getting on me. But I wouldn't do anything until the trainer come, and I wouldn't let my mum leave. So we just sat there basically till about, I don't know, say it started at 5 till about 5:15 or something, and then I just got on with it. So that was like my first clear pop. I can remember the first day a little bit, but that was like that second bit of being sat there again, everyone looking at you thinking that was my first clear proper memory, I'd say.
And so you built that confidence up, and then you had over 30 amateur fights as a boxer. Can you tell us a bit about that part of your career?
Yeah, so I think about 33, 34 in the end. Lost my first fight. Well, I had a skills bout, which is where nobody wins or loses.
Yeah.
I had that on a Tuesday. Then I had my first fight on a Saturday, and my first fight, for my first fight, the other kid had 4-1-2, lost 2. I think he beat me on I don't know if it was split or unanimous, but it was a close fight.
Yeah.
He did beat me though. It was a close clear winner. That was at Bramall Lane as well, where I hate. So yeah, I lost that one. I think I won my next 3 or 4. I won my next one, and then we went into the minors, which is the youngest championships possible. I think I got to the semi-final of those. I lost to the winner, Mark Johnson. He was a good kid. And I can remember after that, then I won my next one on the home show, and then I lost my next couple the season after. Bit down on that, got a bit of a rollicking off coaches. And then obviously Grant got me working, and then it was schoolboys, and then I won my next fight on the home show, confidence up. I think I had about 9 bouts then. And then we got the schoolboy championships, that was the first big one. Did it with Dalton, we boxed every round. We both got to the national final. He won them, I lost in the final. I was better than the kid, to be honest. It was at Brentwood Leisure Centre now. I went back the other year. It's not that big, but to me, back at 11-year-old, I think I won the 32 kilo, 5 stone at 12-year-old. It was absolutely massive in my eyes, and I just think They got a bit nervous and the kid beat me. I think he beat me like 2-0 or 2-1, something daft like that. Ended up rematching him a couple of months later, beat him easy. And then after that, I'm always one of the best kids in the country. I never won the championships. I was like a semi-final, stuff like that. I was probably what you would call a kneeling man, but I was a good kid. To be honest, I could have done something in the sport. I'm not going to say I could have been world champion, but you know, I could have got British, European levels. I think I would say like I grew up with Dalton in the sport. I would say if he's an elite amateur, I was always like a level or two below him. So I was a good amateur. I was a good kid. Yeah, then I got to like, I can't remember if it was 16 or 17, it was in the youth. And I actually lost in the regional final, but for me it was a fight that I won hands down.
Yeah.
And I lost on a points decision. I think I had 4 points took off me that fight, which I shouldn't have had. The referee was just against me. One judge still getting me by 4 points. One judge had me losing by a point and the other by 2 after having 4 points took off. So if I didn't have them points took off, I believe obviously I would have won the fight, but I still believed even them points off I won. And I just sort of started gradually falling out of love with the sport. I think Grant could notice. And then I can remember New Year's Day, clear as day really, sparred Dalton. It didn't go well, I'll be honest, he put me down with a body shot. But Dalton was always bigger than me as a kid, so you know, they were not shaming it, but that weren't me, do you know what I mean? And I can remember getting home New Year's Day and just sort of burst out crying to my mum. Feel like I'm letting them down, said I don't want to do it no more. My dad were a bit disappointed, my mum were obviously all saying it's okay and that. When I New Year's Eve, went to the gym to speak to Grant. And he said he saw it coming, he could tell him a training, which a good coach knows when his fighter's not training hard. You can tell, so he knew me since I was 9-year-old, he brought me up in the game, do you know what I mean? So if Grant didn't know then, but he obviously knew, and that was sort of the end of my amateur career, and so I had a little few months out before starting my next chapter really.
I'm going to say, so you're now obviously a trainer at the Steel City Gym.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So I boxed here as a kid, so this is the only gym I've ever been to. This is the only gym I've ever boxed out of. Never trained at another gym. Well, I was sparred at another gym and stuff, but never ever been coached by anybody else. I was always my coach. He was there. He was the guy in my first amateur fight. He was the guy in my last amateur fight. That's all I've ever known. But sort of when we were, I can't remember doing this video. We were like 11, 12. We've lost the video now, but it's a shame really. But I was very good on the pads, so I used to take Dalton on and stuff. And I can remember Grant, after like a couple of months, he sort of just rang me and just said, look, if you're not doing that, I need help. Obviously Grant on his own. So I was like, yeah, this is right, just give it a go and help me. So come in, just started helping him on the pads, I was working as well. So I gained up my time after the gym. Weren't always consistent with it, was sometimes consistent with it, weren't always consistent with it. I'll be honest, obviously having been like training hard since a kid, used to go out at the weekend, have a drink, you know, probably sometimes choose going out over actually committing to maybe helping coach or the amateur fights at the weekend. But I'm always there. So yeah, started helping Grant train the amateurs really. Got my badge, my amateur level 1 badge. Probably did that for a good 4 to 5 years, just giving up my time really, helping Grant.
I'm going to say, is it Grant that sort of had that biggest impact on your coaching career?
Yeah, just Grant and really Grant only. Then obviously like Dalton, Grant, they're my family in boxing. Well, they're my family in life, but in boxing they're the people that I'm closest to. Brian, his granddad. So I've grown up with them, so they've had the biggest impact. Obviously Grant, and I'd probably say Dalton, and then I'd probably say like, I always had a good little bond with Sonny on the pad. I think he, like as I got more into coaching, he gave me confidence as well. So yeah, I'd say Dalton and Grant, and then I'd say as time went, I'd probably say I used to be quite, being Sonny's always had a good little finger on the pads. So as he was a late amateur, early pro, I got confidence with him as well, to be honest with you.
I'm going to say, so you mentioned Dalton there. How's your relationship with him developed over time?
Well, I've known him since 9. We've travelled the country together at 11. We used to go like out sparring every Friday at a club called Bermontos in Leeds, and like I think he'd had about 15, 16 bouts at that time. I couldn't name you every fight he'd had, how he'd gone on, split decision loss, unanimous win, who it was, everything like that. I was like a little boxing encyclopedia when I was a kid. So yeah, I've grown up with Dalton. He's probably like my brother, to be honest with you. And obviously, he went sort of on GB. I sort of stopped boxing. Probably wasn't that close for 3-4 years maybe, but obviously still stayed in contact. But then obviously since I started, he turned pro and I come here full time as a coach, just growing closer and closer and closer. And yeah, I'd say like he's my brother. Do you know what I mean? Like in some ways, how he acts in the sport, kind of. That's how I would tell people to look up to, how he carries himself. And to be honest with you, I think he carries himself well out of the gym, how he acts in life, and I look up to him and his granddad, to be honest with you, and I don't mind saying that, how he acts in certain situations. So yeah, I've got a very close, I've always been close with Dolan, but probably over the last 3 or 4 years we've got even closer. I'm with all his family, to be honest, so.
So you said that you've known him since he was 9. So that night in Sheffield, when he won the British title outright, that must have been amazing for you.
Yeah, obviously. There's something about Dalton. When they all fight, I'm nervous, but there's something about Dalton where I'm just taking every shot while he's in there. I think he could get jabbed in and out goes. Don't go, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, when Sonny boxes, it's sort of a bit like a dream. Like, I don't know, Sonny just has got that confidence, and I believe in him. And he doesn't really get hit. Obviously, his last fight was a bit different, but when Sonny boxed me for Lane, I was nervous. I've always had the confidence in him since then. Junaid, I get sort of out on edge, and obviously others, but with Dalton, I don't know, there's just something about it where I'm like more nervous, more on edge. But I've got full faith in him. And when he won that British title outright, I just felt on top of the world, really. Like, yeah, but obviously I know he could be world champion.
Yeah.
So I still see it as a stepping stone, but yeah, it was an unbelievable night. It was an unbelievable feeling. Obviously, he had a little after party, which was great. You know, seeing him being the centre of it, it makes me happy. It makes me proud of him. And yeah, I'm just happy that I've been there from the start. And what motivates me with him is, for one day we win that world title together. Obviously, him and his dad and his granddad will share that moment, but
yeah.
you know, I'll be happy that I can say I've been there from the start. You know what I mean? I was there at the start of his first bouts, and I'll be there when he wins the world title. So yeah, winning the British was an unbelievable moment. Obviously, it's all these people watching, but as good as it is, I want to be hungry for that world title.
Yeah. So obviously you're on about stepping stone. He's got a stepping stone coming up on March the 23rd against Jose Zepeda. How tough of a fight do you think that is?
Very tough. You know, you got to look at Sam Maxwell's domestic level. Let's be honest. Let's not go short. Did the job, knocked him out. But this is a whole new level, and you could argue at times Dalton has sat in first gear. Billy Allington. People say Casey Benjamin fight, but I know he had a chest infection then. But Billy Allington just sat in first gear and cruise control. You could even argue when he boxed Samuel Mason, could he have took him out in 2 or 3, 4 rounds? Possibly. But you can't do that no more against Zepeda. You know, Zepeda can punch, he can box. So people are going to say he's over the hill. Possibly he is, but even when fighters are over the hill, they can always punch. Yeah. And he's got to be switched on. And he's got to go through the gears. You know, if you beat Zepeda, you've got to take him out. You've got to up the levels. You've got to work to beat him. You can't just sit in cruise control and beat him. And with someone like Zepeda, if you've got him hurt, if you take him out, you know, you're on to world level. So it's a tough test. If he's not 100%, he gets beat. And he knows that. And he's training for that. It's the best I've seen him train. And I think he'll bring the best out of Dalton. He is a world-class talent. I've seen it in sparring. So I think Zepeda's the right step up at the right time to win and then move on to that next level.
So you also work with former IBF world champion Sonny Edwards. Can you tell us a bit about your role working with him?
So I just say like, I'd say I'd be assistant coach. If Grant's away, I would pad him, I would watch his sparring. So he's a good friend of mine. So he come here, I think it was about 9-10 years ago from uni. Always been alright, we've always been close. I was there when he won the senior ABAs. And sometimes he puts that throwback picture on about having the same team still. So yeah, so I would say I'd be assistant coach to him. I would probably say I don't do too much with him anymore because I've got my own fighters, but if Grant's away, I'm there on the pads with him, I'm watching the sparring. But he also, like managers Thomas and Sombra, and we talk a lot of boxing within each other. You know, we talk different styles, and I learn a lot from Sonny. You know, I'm not big-headed enough to say I teach Sonny.
Yeah.
You know, I learn from him. He may learn from me, learns from Grant. Some things he does in the fight, some things in the sparring, I teach others. He's a phenomenal talent. He's an elite level fighter. So yeah, I would say I'd be assistant coach to Sonny Edwards, yeah, but also a good friend as well.
So Sonny's last fight for BAM in Arizona. What's that experience like for you?
So I would say it was a whole new experience. I'd never been to America. I don't think the gym had ever been to America, so every state has different rules. You know, just even you learn little different things about what can, like you can't even have caffeine in the change rooms. We never knew that. It's totally different out there. You know how the gyms work. I didn't see too much of it. I only went out on the Tuesday as he boxed on a Saturday, but you see how different gyms work, how you know they get weighed in early in the morning, 7 morning weigh. So it's an all different experience, and you know we lost. Yeah, we come up short, but Sonny really went from boxing on small low shows when he started to top of the fruit tree, and you know, an elite level fight the whole world was talking about, headlining the zone, and the whole world was talking about that fight, and proud of him. Shame how the fight went. His eye going in the second round. I think that made him stand and have a bit of a war with Bam, but he stood there at times and did as good as he got. Yeah, he lost in the knife, Grant pulled him out. But if you was ever just saying Sonny's a silky smooth boxer, he proved how tough he was, how he can fight, he can take a shot. And you saw the state of his face, he was still there until the end. And if Grant had said, go out there and prove to me again you've got another round, he'd have done it. So I'm proud of him on that front. And I think, you know, it's probably made him a bit more hungry now. And Bam's an unbelievable talent. And I can remember just watching that, getting out after that fight, thinking, wow, that was like, just cornered at an elite level. Do you know what I mean? And at flyweight, superfly, bantam, you're not really getting better than Bam. I think he'll go through the weight divisions. I think Chocolato's a good fight, but I don't think he'll ever box. I do think he beats Estrada. I think the only person that can really beat him, they'll never box, is a new way. I think he's that good to go through the divisions. So Sonny's got no shame in losing then. I can remember saying to Grant in the morning after, I said, be down that you've lost, but think about where you've come from. I was there when you started off, you took over Steel City Gym. There was 5 amateur boxers, there was me and Dalton and a few others, and you've just been at top of the food chain, headline America, without any backing. You've done it all on yourself. Be proud of yourself. Sonny obviously was always a very good amateur, but he was never on GB. And he just headlined in America against a pound for pound fight. Come short, but still needs to be proud. He'll come again, I have no doubt. He'll become if he's talking about going down to light fly, I have no doubt he will become a 2-weight world champion, and I have no doubt he will become a 3-weight world champion, because I think he goes back up to fly and clears it. And who knows, he may go up to superfly, become a 3-weight world champion. He's still world's his oyster. And you never know, he could do it at bantamweight. It's a tough ask. He's not the biggest of kids, but he's got the skills to do it.
So I don't feel like we can talk about the Arizona card without mentioning, I guess, that viral moment of sorts when Junaid Bostan sort of got pushed down into the stool by Grant. Grant had some sort of choice words for him. What's your sort of initial reaction being in the corner to that?
I just kind of think at the time he sort of needed it. Every fighter works different. I guess I've got a fighter if I did that to Thomas or somebody, he'd panic. If I did it to Liam Cameron, he'd panic. Ebony, I think she'd kind of react well to it. She'd wake up. I think if Grant did that to Dalton, it'd react negatively. But Junaid needed it, and Junaid, sometimes you give Junaid the bollocking he needs, if you could call it that. He thinks, yeah, come on then. Do you know what I mean? If you talk calmly to Junaid, he didn't always take it seriously. Yeah. He needed to know that he was hurt. He needed to know needed to get back to his boxing. And he could argue and say it worked because he wouldn't. So if that was the third round, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 rounds left, probably lost one more round, and he got back to his boxing. Broke the kid down and could have took him out at the end. Yeah. So you could argue and say if he'd never stood down and fight with him in the third round, he would have took him out. If he'd just boxed him more, listened to the game plan, listened to the tactics. So you can argue with it, but Junaid needed that. Yeah. And obviously Grant knows Junaid as good as anyone, well, as better than anyone. I had him since a kid. I know Junaid better than anyone. He needed that. So yeah, I have no qualms with it. I thought it was the right thing to do.
Florian Markey was another boxer that trains at the Still City Gym. What was the experience like going out to Albania for his fight, especially with Florian's quite passionate fan base?
Yeah, just crazy to be honest. It's like David Beckham, getting out of the car, getting escorted to his change rooms, getting out of the car, escorted to the weigh-in, everyone just trying to get to him. Yeah, it was all a bit crazy. He's a genuine superstar out there. And it was a shame really because his performance was okay, but it probably wasn't his best performance. He actually learned a lot of lessons from that experience, and I think that will make him a 10 times better fighter. I think it's the best thing that's ever actually happened to him.
And someone you've previously mentioned, Thomas Asomba.
Yeah.
He's obviously European champion. What's it been like working with him?
Phenomenal. You know, he did a little interview the other day and he said, Pearce is my little brother, but when it comes to coaching, he's my dad, he's my parent. So I was laughing because I was like, I'm 10 years younger than Thomas. But sort of as much as I've improved him and made him a European champion, which is my biggest achievement, he's improved me so much as a coach, I guess as a person. So as much as he probably says he owes me a lot, I owe him everything as well. He was my first boxer. I can remember just taking him on. He told me that he wanted to win the British title. Obviously coming from Cameroon, he wanted to get his name on a British title. So that was the goal. We went out to Denmark, got the win so we could box for the British. We boxed in the final eliminator against Marcel. And that was probably one of the lowest experiences I've ever had. You know, he didn't win, he didn't perform. And to be honest, we were talking about retiring. And dusted him back up in this opportunity to come for the European title. They said, this is it, this is the last chance to lose. And we was always confident in that fight. And I can remember there were a couple of spars where he just didn't perform. And I was like, Thomas, I need to see you perform in the next spar, otherwise the fight could genuinely, I'm not going to Italy to just go there to not challenge, and he just upped the levels. And I just said to somebody, you know, when Rocky was on the beach and Apollo Creed's screaming at him and he just ups the game and that's it, I said this could be his Rocky moment. And it sort of was. And yeah, it was probably as much as Dalton wanted the British title, because it was me that was the main coach, that was probably the happiest time I've been in boxing, I can't lie to you. And yeah, obviously then he just defended it last week, and again over the moon because that was a hard fight, and that fight was there for him, sort of, that was standing the big paydays in the big fights. And I just said that to him before the fight. I said, listen, you've had a little girl, and to be honest, people talk about Thomas Tyne, he wasn't his best camp. He was fit, but he probably could have been fitter. He had a baby a month before, he missed a few sessions. So, but I just explained, look, you're doing it for Poppy, you're doing it now, this is everything you've ever wanted, you're the champion, go out there, win, and your big fights, your big paydays are there, everything you've ever wanted for your little girl, let's go and get it. So yeah, so with Thomas, it's just been, he's brought my coaching levels to a different level. You know, I can remember Grant trying to teach me how to wrap hands, and I was like, this is a bit fast. Thomas knew how to wrap hands, so for weeks on end I just wrap his hand. Won't be all the best, but then after time, I got good at. I'd say I'm okay. I'm not going to say I'm the best hand rapper ever, but I can wrap a decent hand. But that was because of him teaching me. you know, learning how to be a bit more calm in the corner at certain situations. It's all really sort of learned from him. Obviously learned from others as well, but he was the main person. And you know, when he retires, I want him to be sort of, I could argue, my assistant coach. I want him to get his own fighters, but I'll always be Grant's assistant. But I've got 8 fighters now, and there's times where I do need an assistant, and I want that to be Thomas. But then I've got Liam coming through as well, so we've got big plans, and Thomas is a big part of that.
I must say, so you mentioned Thomas's recent defence of his title. Obviously, that went down to a split decision.
Yeah.
You're in the corner. How sort of nervous are you when you hear that's gone down to?
Very nervous. I thought he clearly was a close but clear winner. I had it 8-4, could argue 7-5. There isn't a cat and else chance Conky did anywhere near enough to take it off the champion in his own backyard. For the first 6 rounds, did nothing. Sort of, Thomas landed the big backhands, landed the far more clearer shots. Tired, sort of Thomas started standing with him in rounds 7, 8 and 9. And I'll be honest, Thomas was taking some body shots and he took it out of him. He tried to be macho, we got him back to his box in the last 2 rounds. I think it was a close, but it was a clear winner. Obviously I was nervous, 150, 114, you're like... But as soon as it said and still, I think the pictures, the videos, they show how happy we were. I didn't even know I did this, but Mo, the camera guy, big up Mo, makes the, you know, the reels and stuff. He's got a video of me kissing Thomas's head at the end, all sweaty. I forgot I did it, but it shows you the bond we've got. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, next day, my girlfriend Shannon, she cooked him breakfast, so we was all happy, and then he went to Liverpool to see his girlfriend Chloe and his little girl Popper. So yeah, I was over the moon, but now we've got bigger things, we've got bigger fights to plan. So yeah.
I say also on that card was Liam Cameron, who got a first round knockout. How have you helped him with his comeback to boxing?
So obviously he started running again. We was 120 kilos, I think it was. Big up to Hassan Karim. He got him out running again and brought him down to the gym. And when I talk about I've known Dalton a long time, Liam was the guy I looked up to. So when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, Liam was the best amateur in the gym. You know, when he turned pro his first professional fight, me and Dalton were there with the horns. We always have a laugh about that. I took me and Dalton racing to get bandages off him. I've even got memorabilia in my house from Liam's fights, so when he boxed in Coventry and stuff like that, and the elite senior ABA finals. So obviously, straight away we got on, and just slowly, I just said, look, there's no point trying to set little targets, not a big target, little targets. Aim for this, aim for that. Let's aim for July, first far back. Let's aim for October, November. So we did that. I'll be honest with you, we kind of rushed his first fight back, wasn't probably quite ready, but that was the only Sheffield show that was in and around then. So we rushed him back, probably wasn't quite ready, just got through the fight, it was a close fight. But he didn't box a bad lad, to be honest with you. Stayed in the gym straight away, kept him sparring, and a month later, how much sharper he was unbelievable. Kept him sparring, had a little taper over Christmas, boom, got him back going for the GBM show, and he proved he was back. So I would say I played a big part in his comeback, but he's done it himself. People around him have helped him, family, but he's done it all himself, played a part in that. So yeah, me and Liam's got a very good bond. Probably again, could argue, probably on the phone to him every day, you know, I can sit and spend all day, and that's because I've known him since I was a little kid. And he's similar to me, you know, we've got similar personalities, we can have a laugh, but when it's work time, he knows that. I could literally give him a bollocking in sparring. 20 minutes later, we're literally messing about, but in that bollocking sparring, he takes it serious. And then we might go out for food after, or coffee, we're having a laugh, but that's different to boxing, so yeah. But yeah, I played a big little part, whatever you want to do it, but he's done it himself.
So Nico Levis, Jordan Flynn and Ebony Jones all have upcoming fights. How do you split your time between them?
So Nico's Grant, obviously I help with him. But yeah, I kind of help Nico whenever I need to. Sort of the other day I watched a few rounds of his sparring while Grant was a bit busy. He might be on the pads, might have to do his pads sometimes. I think I did him the other Tuesday. So yeah, I help Nico whenever I can. Got a lot of time for him, very down to earth kid. probably like the same things. Football, we've got passion for his football team, so yeah, we get along. Obviously Jordan, got a big fight with Cameron Young. A lot of time for Jordan, lovely kid. Probably not what people see on the camera. He's a very, very nice kid. Working class family, get on with his parents a lot. Give him as much time as I always will as I possibly can. I'm very confident he can win this fight if he listens, does what me and the rest of us say, and he listens. I really believe he can win this fight and take his career to the next level. We've put a lot of hard work. I believe he's improved a lot. He was a very good amateur, but sort of drifted as a pro into, trying to, I think from when you think the first Quebec fight, maybe trying to have a wars, but if you watch the second fight, although he won that fight so much clearer, boxed very, very good, and I think a lot of people saw the improvements. So we just keep chipping away, getting him better and better. And then, what did you say, Ebony?
Yeah, Ebony.
Where to even begin with old Ebony? She's my little sister. Got a lot of time for her. Again, she's like me. She's just a normal human being, no ego. And I think she's been in the army, so like she gets on with everyone, and I sort of took her under my wing. Obviously she's up here on her own. Yeah. She makes a big commitment, And I always say about Ebony, I truly believe she can be my first world champion. She's that good. And I think once she gets the ball rolling again, gets active, I think she's going to prove that to everybody. But yeah, me and Ebony, she sort of tells everyone I'm a big brother and a dad. We have a laugh about it, a therapist, all that sort of stuff. So we're very close. Like she come round for tea to mind the other day when my girlfriend cooked the food. They're also friends, and I believe I know how to get the best out of her. Look, she boxed. She had 2 cancelled fights. Pulled out the Stevie fight. That was my choice. Yeah. She just wasn't right. My choice. Needed to get her back, and she's got an up and coming fight, and I believe it's going to be the best Ebony Jones we've ever seen. She's back sparring again. She's enjoying the boxing again, and so I truly believe I give her as much time as I do everybody else, and I would say I'll look after her as much as I can. Obviously, she's got a dad. Dad's out of Portsmouth. I speak to him a lot. He's always on the phone to her, and I can have a laugh with him. He's a funny person. So I look after her out of the gym, and we've got a good little bond on the pads. And again, as much as we have a laugh like Liam, when I tell her what she needs to do, give her the bollocking, she listens and she does it, and she's a joy to train.
So as a trainer, how do you keep the fighters focused that haven't actually got a fight date?
I just think it's about, we've got Ed Harder, obviously got a few medicals out, not really got a fight day, might not have another fight until the summer, say. Yeah. Been training with me probably about 8 months. I think he joined maybe May, June time, I think, possibly earlier. And it's just about making it a little bit fun, learning but making it fun, I think. So if you're coming in and go saying 8 rounds on bar by swearing them, then they're going to think, what's the point? Yeah. You come in, you do the pads, you get a bit of rhythm, you learn, you have some fun with it. But you're getting them better, but you're not smashing the body in, so they're not thinking, why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's about training them correctly, not killing the body, keeping them focused, keeping them level-headed, just letting them enjoy the training, but not too much intensity. I think if you're doing too much intensity when they haven't got a fight, then they're probably going to get a bit obviously discouraged with it. Yeah. It's better to, if they've got a fight and they want to go do something, encourage them to do it. Yeah. Don't that you're a boxer, you can't go out and go for some nice food. You can't have a little drink at the weekend. No, you're not fighting for 3 or 4 months. Go and enjoy yourself. And when I tell you it's time to go back to work, it genuinely is time to go back to work.
So there appears to be some great potential currently in the Steel City Gym. Yeah. Do you feel like this could be the start of, a golden era?
I guess it's already started. But I guess Grant's a passionate and hungry man, and I want to strive to be as good as I can be, being a young coach. Grant always says he's going to pass this gym on to me, which I know he will do. And I want to build a team. Obviously, I work with amateurs. I want to bring amateurs through and be world champions. I know I want to. So it is a big passion, you know, to get people from young kids to, and I think there's plenty of potential. So, like I said, I mentioned I've got Thomas and Liam that I want to sort of help coach, you know, and Grant. So I guess retired from coaching, but not from the gym. He'll be around. He might manage fighters. He might give advice. Then I'll be the main coach, the main person, bringing hopefully the best talent through. You've got Liam and Thomas, might be better coaches than me, you never know, with the experience. You've got Dalton's sister, now an amateur coach, Chelsea, she boxed herself. She could become a good little female coach, bring loads of female talent through. I've got an amateur coach with my assistant, Tommy. He could come on and be the amateur head coach. I don't know who's going to end up coaching professionals. I've got big aspirations to take this gym places. Then you've got Sunil, who's I guess going to want to coach, he'll be helping. He might manage fighters, Grant might manage fighters. You've got Dalton's nephew coming through, who Dalton could manage. Hopefully I train to go on and achieve things. I think we've hit a golden era. I think we've achieved a lot, but I think this gym has so much potential to go down and make history where everyone talks about. We're not just professional boxing, we bring kids through. I think there's so much potential there for this gym to go on forever.
So we've talked a lot about the fighters at the Still City Gym, but going back to yourself, what future aspirations do you have as a coach?
So I can be so cliche and say I want to be the best coach ever. I want to train world champions. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to train world champions. Yeah, I want to be the best coach in Britain, but there's plenty of good coaches in Britain, but I want to be up there. Grant's up there, I want my name to be up there. I don't just want people to associate Steel City with Grant Smith. I want to say Grant Smith, Pearce Gudgeon. No, and I know there's a long way to go yet, but that's what I want people to say. Obviously I want to create world champions. One big goal is to get a kid as an amateur boxer to a world champion. I think even taking a kid from being a young amateur boxer to European level or even a British champion is very good, and that's something I want to achieve. But I also, like, this gym has no egos. Anyone's welcome in this gym. This gym is such a friendly environment. I want to help people, and Thomas, like Liam, probably like, if I say I want to make Liam world champion, and I'm saying to Liam, "Come make you're the world champion," I'm lying to him, I'm blowing smoke in his horse. He knows that. But if I could take him from being where he was to British champion, possibly European, but I've helped him do that, then that's an achievement in itself. Being able to help people is also a big thing for me. You know, you're getting them champions is good, but knowing that you've took someone from being this low to this high, whether it's a British title, English title, world champion, that's what makes me happy. What makes me happy is seeing people happy. So say for example, when Liam won that fight in a minute, in a round, just seeing his confidence gleam again, that's buzzing me out, Say everybody gets a 6th rounder back, knowing that maybe she had a few things going on and everyone knows about her past, and I've picked her up and hopefully can achieve that world champion, but I've picked her up in life, got her thinking better in life, that makes me happy. Got a fight called Nicola Bark, such a wonderful personality, one of the happiest people you could ever meet. She does nothing but sing my praises, which she'll sometimes text me a big long paragraph saying just thank you for everything, and that means more to me. Obviously when she wins a world title, that's sort of a like achievement in my coaching career, and as happy as that makes me, them little texts that she sends me to thank me for everything makes me just as happy.
So to finish off the podcast, I like to ask the same few questions to every guest. Starting with, if you could change one thing about boxing, what would it be?
There's 2. Drug cheats. I think it's getting worse and worse. I think caught with drugs, bad for life. And I maybe think world titles, make one world title. So you've got how many different versions of world titles now? If you make one version of a world title, everyone will box each other. So if you're telling me Errol Spencer's the only world champion in the welterweight division in his prime, when Crawford was in his prime. Well, Crawford's still in his prime, but I think Errol Spencer's a little bit short. They would never have boxed, of course they would have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would have been ordered, they would have had to have fought. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, when the fight was meant to happen, if there was only one world championship, that fight would have happened. And maybe Amir Khan killed, but you could talk about that, but probably one wasn't. They both might not be world champions at the time, so that don't really affect that. But yeah, so there being one world title to make the biggest fights, and like, so if there's one world title, you've got a fight like Dalton and Azim where they might wait until one's world champion to make it bigger. But if there's only one world title, they've got to fight. So that stops like an Amir Khan and Kell Brook avoiding each other. They then have to fight because there's only one world title, so the winner of that gets the world title shot. Whereas there's no point avoiding it, they can't avoid each other.
What is one fight in boxing history you wish you could have been ringside to watch?
I'd probably say Agler Hearns, just because obviously how unbelievable the fight was. I'm not the biggest, I don't know loads and loads about 80s boxing, I'm not going to lie to you, obviously I love that fight. I would probably say, because I grew up watching them, Mayweather and Pacquiao. Because they're the people that, when I got into boxing, 9, 10, 11, they were the people that I was watching. Like Floyd is my favourite fighter ever because I grew up watching and idolising how good of a boxer he was.
Who is one fighter from any era you wish you could have worked with?
That's a tough question. I'm not going to say anyone like Floyd or anything because I think they were just unbelievably good. That's a tough question. I'm trying to think of someone maybe that. No, I'll probably say from any area,
yeah.
I'm just going to say Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah, because he could fight, he could box, hand speed, he just had everything for me. Like I grew up watching Floyd and stuff, and as unbelievable as they are, like my dad loves so listen to Sugar Ray Leonard. He says Elizabeth never, but he loves Sugar Ray Leonard, so I kind of grew up obviously watching him, but I just think he had everything. He had a personality as well, so yeah, maybe I'll go with Sugar Ray.
The YouTube boxing scene has a sort of tag team boxing format.
Yeah.
If you could choose one boxer, past or present, to be your tag team partner, who would it be?
To be my tag team partner, I'd just say I'll go with Deontay Wilder, yeah, just because it is when he hits them, he's gone, so it's like don't work. You know, when he was his proud, just let him jump in. I'll do a little minute dancing about, tag him in, boom, it's over, innit? So you could argue and say that, or you know, I'll probably say Sonny, just because we're the biggest laugh ever. He just dance about and make him miss, we'd have a laugh. I'd jump in, we'd jump in, and I guess say it's a 4-round fight, we'd win 40-36. So yeah.
And finally, what is one piece of advice you wish you could give to your younger self?
To my younger self?
To your younger self.
Keep at it, because there was a time not last year, the year before, sort of 2024, is it 2024 now? So 2023, obviously it was a good year for my coaching, but 2022 I was sort of thinking about just having one fight, just because I want to have one pro fight. I could say I've done it, I've been boxing all my life, I could say I've done that experience, I know I could sell loads of tickets for it, just have a little buzz. Dalton sort of nearly talked me into it, we were talking about it, and I genuinely was going to do it. Then I had a little spar back, I thought, yeah. But if I could tell my younger self something, it would be to carry on. Because I genuinely believe, you know, I could have won titles, but then again, I'm achieving a trailing European title at 26-year-old. I can't say many coaches have done that. So I could argue and say that, but then again, I could also argue and say coaching is my destiny. So probably say to carry on, but at the same time, if I achieve what I achieve in coaching, I might not have needed to carry on. So yeah, I'd say carry on and keep focused, but we'll see in the long run whether I'd actually needed to do that or not. So yeah.
Thanks so much, Pearce. Really appreciate your time.
It's fine.